Hi friends, welcome to part 2 of how I make my patterns with Silhouette. The best version to use is 3.8. If you use anything else higher like 4, I have that as well, but this is the easiest one to learn. So the last time we were with each other, I told you I'd be showing you how to do this. Well, before we end, I want to show you a picture of what we'll be doing next. We'll be doing this, okay? This right here can either be a tag for your Christmas stocking, or if you make it out of thicker wood, it is a nameplate. I will have a picture of an actual nameplate at the end of the video. Let's get to it. All right, so I'm gonna move this to the side, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna go up here, we're gonna click the square. It says draw rectangle. So you're gonna hold down Shift and the left key, and you're going to drag. Now, I'm going to click select. I'm going to click on that square, and I'm going to duplicate it. So now I have 2 of these squares. Matter of fact, let me show you another way of duplicating. All right. So right now I am clicked on one of the squares. Instead, you can go here at the top, just move your mouse and feel around up there until it says open the replicate window. All right, when it says open replicate window, you have choices here. If you want to duplicate to the left, to the right, and if you move down here, it'll let you rotate up to 5 copies. It'll let you slide them to the side or drop them down like in columns. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate 2, okay? All right, I just rotated 2. So just so we can see this, I'm going to capture all of this. And I'm going to my paint bucket, and I'm going to where the hashtags are. I'm going to make it clear. So now that we have line art. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and move these. I just wanted to show you how you could duplicate. What I actually like doing is taking this, you make a duplication of it, and you make the second one just a little bigger. Okay. So now I'm going to select them both, and I'm going to go to open the align window, okay, and press center. Now that they're both selected and I've pressed center, I'm going to right click on it and say make compound path. Now what I just did was I made this one object. Remember when I first did the squares, they were completely black. Now that it is one object, watch when I click on it and go to my fill window, it is now just a frame, okay? Remember I had one smaller than the other, put them together and made one object. Okay, so now for this M, it's gonna be really simple. Since it's already clicked, I'm gonna go over here, remember, to the replicate window. I'm gonna click on replicate, and I'm gonna say rotate 2 copies. Bam, look at that. If I wanted to use that for a pattern and just put a letter inside of there, I could, but I don't want to. Instead, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take one of these away. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and just select them both and make it, oh, it's welded. It's welded. Now, instead of 2 squares, we have 1 square. It is now welded. Okay. Let's go on over here to our font, and I like to choose Times New Roman. I'm going to use my letter. My name is Mytoya, Mytoya. And I'm going to put my initial in there. Now, you see how it looks right now? I don't want the ends of my M sticking out. So what I'm going to do is, let me make this a little bigger. I'm going to click on my M, and I'm going to ungroup it. Okay, so it's no longer a font. It is an object now. All right. It is a font, but I don't know how to explain it. So now I'm going to double click on it. When I double click on it, I can go ahead and delete these. Okay, or I can just take it and move it. All right, I'm just going to move these. I'm not going to use delete. I'm just going to move these over, put them all within that frame. I like it better like that. And I think we're good. How's that? Look at that, you guys. All right, so now remember, these are two different objects right now. I'm going to select them both, and I'm going to again press weld. Super simple. We're almost done. But wait, there's more. All right, let me zoom back out. This flower I actually found on the interwebs on Google, and I need to trace it. So let me make this a little bigger so you can see what I see. I want you to see when I trace what happens. All right, so in order to trace, there is a square up here. It's yellow in turquoise or yellow and blue. It says open the trace window. Remember, just take your mouse and touch things and it'll tell you what it is. Now, this is called the trace window. To me, it looks like a jelly sandwich, so I call it the jelly sandwich. I work with youth for a lot of my years, and so I try to make things easier by calling it something you can remember. So we're going to touch the jelly sandwich. We clicked on it, and we also clicked select trace area. Okay, so now you're going to do that. You're going to come over here and you're going to select the area by holding down your left key and dragging your mouse or your finger over your computer. Let's make this a little bigger. All right, so right now it's all yellow, but what I like to do, because sometimes you see all the little digital, I don't want all that, okay? I go ahead and I take off the high pass filter, take the scale down to 4, that is the lowest it'll go. And then I take my threshold and slowly move it over. Now let me show you something. Before I move it over, sometimes you'll see some gray, you'll see some yellow. You want 0 gray if possible. And you'll have a really nice clear pattern, all right? So right now I am at 68.6. I think that's great. So now I'm gonna go up here and click. What do I wanna do with it? I wanna trace it. Trace. All right, let's move the original and look at that. Let me get a little closer. That's nice. I mean, real nice. Okay. All right, so just so you guys can see it a little better, I'm going to go and I'm going to fill it. Look at that. It's really, really nice. Okay, enough of that. Now I need to go ahead and put this. Need to make this smaller. That needs to be a little smaller. All right. So as you can see, it is absolutely clear. So what I'm going to do is, let me see, I want this a little smaller and over here. All right. I'm going to go ahead, move this, and I'm going to click on trace again. But this time, I'm going to click select trace area. I'm going to trace that rose, but I'm not trying to trace the inside intricate cuts. I only want the outside. So again, we take off the high pass filter and we take the scale down to 4. Always do this, you guys. All right. It just helps to get a nice crisp pattern. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead. This time, instead of pressing trace, as you can see here, I have trace outer edge. If I only want the outside edge traced. You also have trace and detach. Oh my goodness. On my last video, I'm going to show you guys how to do something so stinking cool. Okay. Anyway, today we are pressing trace outer edge. All right. So let me remove this and look what we have. We have only the outer edge. All right. So here we go. Let's stick this right here. Yeah, right there. Now let's select both. Let's select the M and its frames. And you see the little box around it just showed up. So we've selected the little shape as well. Now we're going to go over here to a square with a circle on it. That is the open the modify window. We're going to press subtract all. And guess what? Oops. Click on the side first, okay? Because they were both still selected. You click on the side, remove this, and we put said flower there. Yeah. All right. Now I can select them both and press group. That was simple. All right. So if I didn't do that, I would have all of the black M in here showing. Okay. Unless I was to go ahead and make the rose a different color and just place it on top and trace it. But I just wanted to show you how you can do the knockout. All right. Now, like I said, please try getting the Silhouette program. It is absolutely free. And I got it with the program that does vinyl. But I'm a scroller, so I don't use the vinyl part very much. I like making my Scrollsaw patterns out of it. Before I got Silhouette, I was using Corel Draw, I was using Inkscape. And when I got a hold of this program and I saw how easy it is, I absolutely forgot how to use Corel and how to use Inkscape. This is my main mode of making patterns now. So now I'm not trying to make you guys into pattern makers. You guys, I know you guys want to scroll, but it feels good to be able to make your own patterns. This was just a simple one. There are other things you can do. And if you stick with me, I will probably do some more of those. I'm going to move this out of the way. And again, I want to show you guys. Here, let's make this a little smaller. Show you this. Myra. Oh my goodness. So I told you I was going to show you the picture of this at the end of the video. The picture is, here it is. Nice, huh? So you can use a picture for, you can use this pattern for your Christmas stockings, or you can use it for a desktop name. You use it for Christmas stockings. You would then use 1/4 inch, 1/8 inch, whatever it is, okay? So I'm gonna remove that. And I was actually working on some other things. Oh, here we go. Let me zoom out some more. I wanted to show you this too. So now I'm going to zoom back in. I don't usually like to make things that other people make, so I make my own patterns. So here goes a pattern right here. As you can see, when it is gray behind it, gray will show up. When it is white behind it, white will show up. Okay, so I make these kind of tags, meaning this is all cut out, you know. Same process as doing this. So the next time we meet, we will be learning this, and that way you can do this and this. But let's say you wanted to really make this Christmassy. You can put words here, or I found Merry Christmas again on Google, and I put it in here. And what I'm going to do is I just want the hollies. So let's take the hollies. Remember, go to the jelly sandwich, select trace area, and then I'm going to come over here and actually select the area I'd like to trace. Okay, so you guys look at this. See how you see all the gray in there? We don't want that. So we want to let go of the high pass filter. And now if you look at it really good, I'm going to move it over. I just want you to see why I do what I do. All right, you see the gray around the edge, how it's really dotted? You don't want that. So again, remember, scale down to 4 and your threshold goes up. You see, as I'm moving it, watch. As I'm moving it, it is filling it in so that I get a nice, crisp, clean pattern. And then I'm gonna touch trace. And I'm gonna move the original and look what I have. Okay, so I'm gonna right click and release the compound path because I don't want this and I don't want this. All right, let's get rid of that. And let's say if I wanted to take and twist this a little more, I could, you know. I don't have to leave it exactly like it is. You can do what you want with it. Now this is your pattern. All right. All right, now I'm going to select them all, right click and make it a compound path, and watch this, you guys. If I wanted to make it a little smaller, I wanted to stick it in here and then select both the name and the holly and right click and say make compound path. Look what your girl just made. We just made us a nice festive tag. Okay, I'm going to undo that for now because I don't want to do that with that name. What if I wanted to do the same, like put some hearts down here? Let's say I want to put some hearts down there. Again, if you make capital Y's, highlight them, and go to Webdings. Right here, WEBDINGS. When you click on that, you get hearts. Okay, so I'm gonna ungroup this because I actually want to make this a little smaller. Yeah, so now if I take this and put it up here and then select all of it, click on it and press, right click and press make compound path. Oh, I messed up a little. Hold on. Okay, and make this down a little lower. Okay, hold on. Even this can be smaller. Yeah, you can do all sorts of things with this. I can actually spread them out. Okay, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to spread them out. I'm go ahead and make these smaller and spread them out. Once you've made a pattern, you're going to be addicted to doing exactly what you want to do. Actually, right here, let me go ahead and make this to where I can see what I'm doing. All right, so I just made it line art. Oh, I need to show you guys how to make it line art. That's what I need to do. All right, I will do that before. Okay, so let's say this. Let's say I wanted this to be line art. I would select it and then go over to my bucket. And right here where you see the little hashtags, click that. And guess what? It's line art. So when I scroll, I never ever scroll like this. I don't like my patterns filled. You know, I'm used to following a line. So I always go ahead and I make it into line art. Those of you who like to do it filled, you can leave it filled. Preference, your preference. Okay, anyway, I'm gonna make it back to, don't forget, you have to click on it. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and make this black again as well so I can show you. So now I'm going to capture everything. I'm going to select it all, the hearts, Amira, all that. And I'm going to right click and say make compound path. Look at that, y'all. Awesome. All right. It's just super fun playing with this program. Okay, so if you want to print this, let me explain something to you. Let me make this line art. I try and conserve all the ink that I can. So that's another reason why I do line art. Okay. So you're clicked on it right now. In order to print it, you have to go here. You absolutely have to go here to open the line style window. Okay. It's just all black and white. And when you open that, you're going to see different lines. So if I want it, I could do that or this. I don't want to do that. We're cutting Scrollsaw patterns. So we're going to go back to just a plain old line. Okay. But right here is this line thickness. So if you print this, if you try to print this without moving the line thickness, you're not going to get anything because line thickness is at 0. You're telling it what to print. You're telling it, don't print any of it. So I usually go up to 5 or 6. And as I was doing it, did you notice that the word got darker here? Let me go back down. Oops, hold on. Let me click that and I'm gonna go ahead back down to 0. You see that? Watch. The line thickness moved, okay? So again, I usually do 5 or 6. 5 is good for me, all right? And then after you have the line thickness, make sure it is still selected, okay? If you haven't selected anything, nothing's gonna happen. You go on over here to where it says send to printer and you click print. Okay, I'm actually in my shop right now, so I don't have a printer out here. I usually have to go back in the house and do that. But anyway, I want to say thank you for taking your time to come and watch these videos and share scrolling fun with me.